Located in the heart of Louisville and dangerously close to the airport is Kentucky Kingdom, a park with a history as rich and deep as a hole filled with money. Kentucky Kingdom, although small in its footprint, is, in my opinion, a seriously underrated destination. Along with its folksy decor and extremely weather-centric theming, this park packs serious heat in its coaster lineup, with a beefed-up locker room consisting of 6 straight-up playmakers. In today's video, we're racking, stacking, and counting down every single coaster at Kentucky Kingdom. Yeehaw! Sorry, won't happen again. Coming in at number 6, we have T3, Terror to the Third Power, a Vekoma suspended looping coaster. Do I really need to say any more about this? I mean, haven't the crimes against humanity perpetuated by Vekoma SLCs been chronicled enough? This coaster was actually one of 2 prototype SLCs, which means it holds the unique distinction of having 7 cars per train instead of 10. As a positive, at least this means T3 is limited in its ability to commit fewer acts of terrorism per hour than its younger siblings. If it's possible to believe, this ride was apparently a lot worse in its initial run as T2, but unfortunately, or perhaps very fortunately, I only have the pleasure of riding the current iteration. Now, to be fair to T3, I will say that the restraints on this are actually not bad, which is about the highest compliment you can expect from me when it comes to SLCs. T3 was outfitted with vest restraints in 2015 that prevents a lot of the headbanging found on other models, so that really is, and I can't state this enough, a massive improvement. Still, a lot of the other pains caused by this ride aren't simply fixed by restraints. It still has a punishing layout that manages to hurt heads, shoulders, knees, and toes in a sick and twisted impersonation of nursery rhyme. If you can't tell, I do not like this coaster. And that's exactly what lands it at the bottom, and I mean the way bottom of this list. Rolling right along to number 5, and we have Roller Skater, a Vekoma Junior coaster. This is the park's kiddie credit, and I have to say that I'm actually a pretty big fan of this model. Obviously, roller skaters have been cloned into infinity and beyond. If you were to take a map of theme parks and just throw a dart at the board, you'd probably end up hitting a roller skater. However, at the same time, they really are one of the better junior coasters out there, in my opinion. Compared to, say, a Zamperla family coaster, roller skaters just do a lot more. There's a lot more in its layout for you to enjoy. I'm not saying that this is a must ride or anything remotely close to that, but little ones, and I mean little ones, who are looking for a first coaster have a great option in Roller Skater. Not really much more to say about it. Give it a ride with your favorite child if they're in the mood, or if it's your lifelong dream to mimic a roller skate, then this ride is for you. All right, now on to the good stuff. At number 4, we have Kentucky Flyer, a Gravity Group family wooden hybrid coaster. Now this is a family coaster executed to a T, in that it manages to be tame enough for the younger crowd while offering palpable thrills for thrill seekers. It's also a ride made with intention, and by that, I mean Gravity Group clearly wanted to maximize one specific element: airtime. If it's wrong to call a family coaster an airtime machine, well then, I don't want to be right. Somehow, someway, Kentucky Flyer manages to defy all of its pedestrian stats and deliver a truly delightful experience. And it's Kentucky themed. Well, it's airplane themed, but it has Kentucky in the title, and that's the kind of hometown pride I admire and appreciate. Hill after hill, Kentucky Flyer proves itself both a worthy and essential addition to the park, even with its abbreviated ride time. I'm still not 100% sure where I stand on Timberliner trains, but there's no denying that they look and feel like a luxury product. Kentucky Flyer as a package deal is one that I'd gladly take and ride time and time again. In our number 3 spot, it's an oldie but a goodie, Thunder Run, a Din Corporation Woody. Before I went on this ride, I really wasn't expecting much, especially because it's a mirrored clone of Hurler at Carowinds, which is bad. But lo and behold, I stand corrected because Thunder Run is a testament to the fantastic maintenance at Kentucky Kingdom. This 30-year-old wooden coaster gave me some amazing rides. In the off-season, Kentucky Kingdom gave this ride another retracking, and man, does it show in how smooth Thunder Run runs, especially for its age. On our last trip, I rode this 2 times, once in the front and once in the back. And while both rides were good, they are massively different experiences. If you're looking for the smoothest possible ride, the front row provides a fluid and comfortable experience with some nice views. On the other hand, if you're trying to get the wildest time possible out of this thing, the back row is where you're gonna wanna sit. It's gonna be rougher, but you're also going to get flung all over your seat if you're into that thing, which I am. Either way you sit, you still have the opportunity to experience some great airtime moments, fun laterals, and good old classic wooden coaster shake. There is a noticeable bit of filler track where the train doesn't do much of anything, but the rest of the coaster is strong enough to make that only a minor gripe. Overall, Thunder Run is an all-around solid and memorable wooden roller coaster that has undeniable charm, which is enough to bring it up to number 3. Moving on to number 2 and getting into the elite category here, we have Lightning Run, a Chance Rides Hyper GTX. In fact, the only Chance Rides Hyper GTX. I have to say, deciding where to put this on the list was a tremendously hard decision, because there is a very legitimate argument to be made putting this at the number 1 spot. Lightning Run is a ride I would best describe as relentless, because it does not let up from the moment it takes its first drop until it screeches into the brake run. Again, this is a coaster that outperforms its stats, as Lightning Run is guaranteed to give you this remarkable sense of speed and aggression that feels like testosterone wielded into steel and then put on wheels. This is actually one of the coasters that I prefer in the front row because you really do feel the maximum amount of torque as the coaster rips through its layout. And let's talk about that layout, because another thing really cool about Lightning Run is how unique it is. There isn't a coaster out there that has a layout remotely similar to it, which means it can be a real breath of fresh air for someone who's ridden one too many Batman the rides. There's a section towards the end of the ride where you take this S-bend insanely low to the ground, and it gives you this amazing moment of laterals right before a borderline criminal ejector hill. And this section has been playing over and over again in my mind since I left the park, because it's simultaneously memorable and forceful, and most of all, fun. The only real negative I have with this ride are the restraints, which have built-in shin guards that, as a taller person, I'm not a big fan of. It doesn't prevent me from getting airtime or enjoying the forces on the ride, but it does mean that repeat rides have the potential to leave bruises, scuff marks, things that add up and detract from the overall comfort and rideability of the coaster. But again, none of this is enough to really take away my enjoyment of the ride, which is palpable. It actually blows my mind that another park hasn't jumped at the opportunity to build a Hyper GTX, because this ride absolutely capitalizes on its smaller frame and then some. As it currently stands though, Lightning Run is a one-of-a-kind coaster, a true standout, and it manages to elevate the entire park into another category of thrill. And last, in our number 1 spot, the best coaster at Kentucky Kingdom is Storm Chaser, an RMC hybrid. At the end of the day, despite the fantastic rides you can get on Lightning Run, Storm Chaser is an absolute monster. It stands right at the back of the park, this twisted collage of pure steel, so menacing and intimidating. Walking past that entrance sign, you can't help but get goosebumps, literal goosebumps. Once Storm Chaser warms up, which it really does need to, I wouldn't recommend riding this straight at park open, it offers a ride experience that leaves you completely speechless, no matter how many times you ride it. And on our last trip, we rode this 7 times in one day, 3 times back to back without getting out of our seat. So shout out to Kentucky Kingdom Ride Ops, you're the real MVPs. I absolutely love the elements on this thing, all the way from its demented barrel roll drop to its perfectly weightless 0G roll, and yes, Even the meme-worthy Trick Track Double Up that gets style points just for the ridiculousness of that name. If there's one criticism to be had of Storm Chaser, it's that it kind of peters out towards the end of the ride. It doesn't end on a high. It definitely uses up all of its energy through the rest of the course, but man, is that energy well spent. I mean, in the back row, you get insane airtime that was wild enough to make my thighs sore for legit 2 days afterwards. And in the good way, not in the Sky Rush way. This is just a fantastic coaster to marathon, to re-ride again and again and remain in awe of the power that erupts from this tiny RMC. Storm Chaser gets my highest recommendation, not only as a standout RMC, but as an elite coaster all its own, and rightfully earns its spot atop the list of the best coasters at Kentucky Kingdom. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is T3 your favorite coaster? And if so, have you sought appropriate psychiatric treatment? Is Lightning Run better than Storm Chaser? My wife certainly seems to think so. And as always, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content here on the channel. I'm Adam with Theme Park Blitz, and I'll see you in our next video.